Hey guys, welcome to the Online Business Realm show. Today we're going to be talking about if you are looking to start a blog, how to start one successfully. So how to start a blog off on the right foot. So there's a few things that you can do when starting your blog that will help you get ahead of most people who have blogs or who are starting blogs maybe in your niche or in the same space as you. The first thing that I want to talk about is in choosing your domain name. So when choosing a domain name, you got to remember now, if you're going with one of the freemium drag and drop website builders like Weebly or Wix or a place like that, you have to understand that in your domain name, it's going to be yourdomainname.com/wix.com, whatever. It's not going to look professional. You're not going to own it. And if I go to a website like that, I can already tell you I'm getting off of it extremely quick. So you have to remember when choosing your domain name, do it wisely, and you can get it on GoDaddy or another Namecheap or someplace like that where you can get a domain name extremely cheap, like $9, $8, $7. And if you do something like sign up with Bluehost, a hosting plan, they'll give you a domain name for free. So remember when choosing your domain name to do it wisely and understand that the domain name is kind of like the face of your blog. That's where people are going to be typing in the search bar up there to get directed to go to your blog. So make sure you choose it wisely and don't go the cheap route. So that's all I'm going to say about domain names. The next thing I want to talk about is updating your permalinks. So if you don't know what a permalink is, when you are blogging with WordPress, you're going to be able to go into the general settings and go to the permalink setting. And then if you change your permalinks, you need to change them to your post name, because what'll happen is automatically they're set to maybe a date or they're set to something really funky that'll be really long. And so a permalink is like yourdomainname.com/the post name. But if you leave it to be what it is natively when you sign up with WordPress and you start blogging, it's going to look something like yourdomain.com/ a whole bunch of craziness that's really hard to remember and doesn't really have anything to do with the post that you're posting about. So remember, when starting off, you need to update your permalinks to be changed to your post name. That way, whenever you're creating a post, you can just say something, .com/post name, and then whatever you're talking about is going to be right there in the URL. So make sure you update your permalinks when starting your blog. I'm going to talk about the Favicon, right? I'm sure it's called something differently, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but the Favicon is the 16x16 or 32x32 really small image that comes up when you open a new tab in Chrome or Safari or whatever web browser you're using, and it shows this nice little image that is related or correlated to that website or blog. If you don't have a Favicon uploaded, then when someone goes to your site, what'll happen is it'll come up with something blank or something really ugly, or whatever blogging platform you're using will have like this just really ugly stationary image that'll be there. So make sure you upload a Favicon that's in relation to your website. So maybe a smaller version of your logo or something like an icon that's in related to the content that's going to be on your blog. So make sure you're adding a Favicon when you're starting your blog. It's just one of those really small things that doesn't seem like much, but in the scheme of things, it's something that will make you stand out from a lot of the other people who aren't doing this. Next, I'm going to talk about plugins. Guys, you don't have to go crazy and install 100 plugins. There's a few of them that are not necessarily, mandatory, but there's a few that are out there that most people have installed, but you don't have to go to the plugin list and install like 80 or 90 or 100 plugins. Don't get too plugin happy, right? Go do some research, see what plugins will work for your case to case, what you're trying to accomplish with your blog. Obviously you want one that'll help your site speed. Obviously you might want to try an SEO plugin, and then, maybe a few different ones like a contact form or a lead pages plugin, something like that. But don't go crazy in installing any plugin you hear about. And you're like, oh man, I got to get that plugin. I got to get this plugin. Calm down, stick with 8, 10, 12 plugins that are actually usable and are helping you in your process of growing your blog. Don't go crazy with plugins. In the end, it will not be helpful. It'll actually be detrimental to the growth of your blog. Next, I'm going to talk about the format of your blog post. So a lot of people will throw up like 1,000 words, like a wall of text, and they don't have any headlines, nothing in bold, no links, no images, and nobody's going to read that. Nobody's going to go to your page and be like, oh my goodness. Even if the content is good, it's one of those things to where it's not really readable, right? I mean, it's readable, but it's not enjoyable to read. So when I go to a blog post and I see a big old wall of text, I'm thinking to myself, man, I can find something else with like, even if the content's great, like I was talking about, I like to have some images breaking it up, some links and some headlines. So I know, as humans, we read, and a lot of times we do like speed reading, and a lot of times you'll go through and read the few headlines that are in a post, and if they're really good, and if they're what you're wanting to learn or why you're at the website, then you'll stay around and you'll actually read the main content of the blog post. So try to format your blog post in a way to where they're really fun to read. There's some images that are related to the content, some headers that break up the monotony of all of the text, and try to format them in a way that just makes your content fun to read. And then lastly, I want to talk about having original content. When you have a blog, there are going to be blogs that have the same type of content and are in the same niche as what you're in. You need to be original. Be yourself. People are coming to your blog for your content, for what you've created. And if you're out there trying to copy somebody else who's already been successful, you're not going to gain an audience, because what happens is these people have already seen this before, right? They want to know something different. They want to know who you are, what your take is on this specific type of content. So make sure your content is original and that you're there and you're producing the content that you want to create, not what somebody else wants you to create. And then in closing, guys, when starting a blog, be patient. Understand that it takes you time to grow a blog. Consistency is key. You may be posting blog posts for nobody to see for 6, 8, 9 months, but as soon as you hit that moment where people start picking up your content, Google is ranking you in search, and you're doing things that you're supposed to do, you follow these steps here that you've seen in this video, your blog will grow. Have patience, be consistent, and you'll see a lot of success and have a lot of fun when creating your blog. So that's it for this video. It's brought to you by onlinebusinessrealm.com. Don't forget to go check us out over there, and I will see you guys in the next one.